What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in tonight. And you're about to be chin checked. What's the topic tonight? Why Devin Haney is the WBC champion. Why? Now, I'm the type of guy that I don't sit up here and just run my mouth and talk out of my ass. I'm gonna throw you some facts, and you can take it how you want to take it, and break it down how you want to break it down. But here you go. I'm gonna try to make the video as short as possible. Let's start off with the timeline. On 2019, September the 11th, Haney asked Lomachenko, could he fight him next? That same weekend, he fought September the 13th. He won his fight, I think, against Abdullah, I think is his name. After he won that fight, he became Lomachenko mandatory to fight for the WBC championship. Shortly after that period, in November, Lomo vacated the championship, the WBC championship. Funny business, but he vacated the WBC championship. In doing so, he made Devin Haney the actual next fight to fight for the WBC championship. Now, before I get too deep into that part of it, I want to say that after he vacated Lomachenko for that WBC championship, he requested to be the franchise championship, which he became the second person to get it because Canelo was the first person to request for it. And if you don't believe that he requested for it, hey, listen to Suleiman himself.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested. Canelo requested.
Now, back to it. Now, after Suleiman went out and told you that Lomachenko requested to be the actual champion, he also, in another video, he broke down the rules of the franchise title. And I'm gonna show you a quick video on that.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who carry the industry.
Now, if you listen to it carefully, it tells you that it was pretty much given. You couldn't win it in a fight. It was not transferable. That if you retired, you could actually come back in the sport and you could fight for a WBC championship. And that it was more about award and accolades rather than a belt that you could fight for. And if you don't believe me, there is up in the screenshot showing you the rules for the franchise belt. Now, let's move a little bit further. That was 2019 and 2020. Devin Haney was supposed to fight Fortuna for the WBC vacant title. Now, in that time period, Fortuna got hurt. He didn't try to make the fight, and I guess in a time period that was good enough for the WBC. And guess what? They rewarded Devin Haney the WBC championship, and he got in the email, but he actually received the belt from Andre Suleiman, which he presented to Devin Haney on November the 6th, 2020. And here's the video of Devin Haney receiving the actual WBC championship belt.
There's a special presentation now from the WBC. Andre Suleiman has something he would like to give you, Devin.
It is my great honor to represent my late grandfather, Jose Suleiman, and my uncle, Mauricio Suleiman, our proud champion, Devin Haney, his WBC lightweight championship belt. Please, Devin.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's move a little further in the timeline. Right before, let's go back a month, on October the 17th. It was October the 17th that Lomo had fought Lopez. He was defeated by Lopez, making Lopez the IBF, the WBO, the WBA champion. But to our surprise, they then, right before the fight, said that the winner would be rewarded the franchise championship. After I just told you that it was non-transferable, it wasn't a belt, but all of a sudden it turned to a belt and became transferable. The funny part about this, which I just told you a minute ago, a month later they presented Devin Haney with the WBC belt. So what is the WBC doing? Is it about sanctioning fees? Is it about trying to play both sides? And I'm seeing that this went on, in and out for a whole year of people asking questions and Suleiman pretty much bouncing around. And if you don't know who Suleiman is, he's the WBC president. And he pretty much bounced around the question. But on October the 18th, the day after, like I said, the fight between Lomachenko and Lopez, he said that the belt was now transferable. Now, as we move down further in the timeline, we go to the timeline of 2021. We're in this year, and we had a explosive video from Suleiman pretty much telling you that Kambosos, who beat Lopez earlier this year in the fall, he had just beat Kambosos beat Lopez to be the IBF, the WBA, WBO champion, while also becoming a WBC championship. So in this interview, people were still wondering, like, what does that mean for Devin Haney, and what does that mean for Kambosos, and who's the undisputed champion? And it's funny because in 2019, the belt was non-transferable. It wasn't considered a belt. You couldn't be undisputed because of the belt. It was just pretty much an award to pretty much give to a fighter that they thought highly of. Now, in 2021, in December, he had an interview, and you can hear it for yourself, where he pretty much said that Kambosos is now the undisputed champion, and Devin Haney is the Pride champion. And here's the video for you to listen to it.
Just a very quick follow-up. We regard George Kambosos as truly undisputed, as Devin Haney has the WBC lightweight title.
Yes, Devin Haney is the WBC lightweight title. He's a Pride WBC champion. He has grown into being a tremendous champion. He defeated Gamboa, defeated Linares, just had a great outing with Jojo Diaz. As I said, it's a new concept. Kambosos defeated Lopez, who defeated Lomachenko. So I do believe he's due recognition as undisputed champion, and great fights to come.
Now, Devin Haney, being the warrior he is, and not taking it, I'm sure he did take it hard. But the first thing he did, which I agree with, how about we fight for the real belt? Which he asked the day after this interview came out. I think the interview came out on December the 22nd, I believe it was. Don't hold me to it exactly. I think it was December the 22nd. Yeah, December the 22nd, we and Suleiman had an interview saying that Kambosos was undisputed. But on the 23rd, like I said, Devin Haney asked, could him and Kambosos fight for the real belt to just eliminate the confusion? Because if he is the WBC supposedly Pride champion now, and Kambosos is the franchise champion, and if they fight, the winner will have both belts, and you can just eliminate the WBC, I guess, Pride championship or whatever you want to call it, and just have one belt, which would be the franchise championship, I guess, if that's supposed to be the highest belt. So Suleiman did some backtracking, and he went on Twitter and put up a post pretty much just naming all of Devin Haney accolades through the WBC since his youth days up to the current day. Almost trying to, I guess, damage control for what he had said, realizing that he maybe ran his mouth a little too fast. So, man, I gave you the timeline, I gave you all the events, I gave you all the videos, letting you know that these rules change on the go. It shouldn't have been done like this. Like I said, the franchise championship was made to be able to duck around and move around and to jump in and out without pretty much facing your mandatory and being able to do what you want to do. And I don't like it for boxing. I think it's bad for boxing. Like I said, I agree with Devin Haney. him and Kambosos need to fight next for undisputed and just eliminate that belt and just give it one major belt. Because right now, us the fans are pretty much confused about the situation. Because to me, Devin Haney is still the champion. You made him the WBC champion in 2020, and on 2020 November 6th, you presented the man with a belt, saying he was the WBC champion of the world by Andre Suleiman, only to backtrack a year later and say that Kambosos is the WBC champion and he's undisputed. So, like you said, man, let's keep it simple, man. Let's get these two guys in the ring next and just settle it. And then from there, if you want to change the rules from there, it will make sense. But to change the rules while you saying another man is the WBC champion and to change the rules on the go, it's not fair to Devin Haney. Like I said, once you get one champion, then you can change the rules up. So, I mean, tell me what you think, man. Tell me if you agree with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, man. We're going to bring you plenty of content. We're going to break down fights. We're going to talk about anything to do with boxing, man. So just stay tuned. But most of all, God, peace, and love. And I'm out of here.